Never say she can't choke, she don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab a shot on the top of shots, I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Follow my commando, hit in the bando, trap in the bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester Solo. I'm telling you, I get this money even on my own.
On his own, Apollo.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. I am your host, Brian Barnaby, and I am joined by Tony.
Yeah, baby.
What's going on, man?
Oh, feeling good today.
You're buzzing.
Really good.
You're buzzing.
On this gloomy day, I'm buzzing.
So good to have you here, ready to talk some baseball. And always, our super producer, Mike. What's going on, man?
What's going on, boys and world? It's a good day to be a Knicks fan.
And, we'll get to that in a little bit. And, obviously we'll have Grasso on for that segment. But first, we'll start in the world of Major League.
Giving Jason Judge, and he dives into the stand.
DeGrom begins the season with an overpowering strikeout of Ronald Acuna.
The wall, it's gone! 3-run home run! What's going on here? I love it. He drives one to the moon. High, deep, and very gone.
Very gone.
Boy, doesn't
Just like Mike.
That Batista home run get you excited for postseason baseball?
Oh, every time I see it, dude.
Yeah.
Literally.
That was electric. And,
That was epic.
we got
I
a
don't
while
even like
to
baseball
go,
like you guys.
being that we're middle
Wild.
of April, so postseason doesn't fall till October. And right now, the Yankees are not playing like a team that's going to be there. We know they are, but once again, they lose yesterday, 6-5. Bichette hits the walk-off homer. And really a tough one to take. We've been over this the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
The formula wasn't there. Offense was there, but disguised by Judge being the living legend that he is.
Oh, okay.
3
Let's
for
take it
4, 2 homers. So that gets him up to 4 on the season. But you look at the rest of the box score.
Barbs.
The rest of the team goes 3 for 27. So you're talking about 8 hitters in an American League lineup. You're not winning many games going 3 for 27.
No, not at all, dude.
Matt has his opinion on it.
Because
Eddie Mush.
Eddie Mush.
I don't get it. Could you explain, bud?
Keep hyping them up too much.
Oh, yeah,
say
just like
too
you
much
with your
before they
signed
play.
seeds
Oh,
and
dude.
all the World Series titles they've won the
Oh.
last couple of years. Good one, Matt.
I think he's saying you're jinxing them, dude.
Right. Yep, zip it, of course.
Sit in your
But
assigned seat.
anyway,
Sit
sport.
the lip.
I think,
What?
of course, the problem this year has been very inconsistent hitting, but the pitching, again, no length out of the starter. And
Nope.
and I hate to say it, but I am getting a little nervous about Kluber, honestly. 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 earns, 4 Ks, hasn't reached the 5th inning. What do you think, honestly?
I mean, I would be too. I mean, it's early in the season, right? I mean, you can't even get him to 5 innings, dude.
Yeah.
Like, he was a big pickup. Like, you were
Right.
relying on him to be healthy, to have that longevity
Number 2
in his
starter.
starts. Yeah, dude. And you're just not seeing that right now. So he's got to kind of figure it out. I feel like he had some issues with command. Obviously, he let up 3 runs, right?
Yeah, 3 runs, two walks,
two
but
walks.
2 walks in 4 innings. I mean, that's
Right, that's not terrible. No. Only 4 Ks. I
6
mean,
hits though.
that's a lot of hits, dude.
Yeah, and it's like, so each start for him has been pretty similar. So,
Right.
and I know you don't know exactly, but giving it your best guess, if he does that, how many times in a row do you think they'll let him do that before they, skip a start, put him in the pen or something like that? How long of a leash do you think they give him?
I don't know. I mean, given the fact that he's come off an injury, I would say
Yeah.
they do give him a good amount on his
Yeah.
leash, especially since they are expecting a lot of him. They want it to work
Yeah.
out, So I don't know. I'll give him another 3 starts.
That's kind of what I was thinking. And I can't see it really being any less than that unless,
It's something terrible happens.
10
gets
runs
blown out.
both in the next 2 games. And, we knew going into the year, him and Tyone, big question marks. And Tyone, I'm not so much worried about. I've seen some good stuff with him, especially with that fastball high in the zone. I've liked what I've seen out of him. Kluber hasn't given me much to get excited about.
No, not really at all, dude.
And you look at Tyone, he's a lot younger. I think Kluber is, 30.
Matt Gabriel,
I
dude.
think Kluber's 35, 36. And Tyone's only 29, so a lot more room to run. So I feel good about him. But it's just kind of funny, he keeps talking about me being a jinx. How about you, Sport? How about you? All right? Worry about yourself. Okay?
Ooh, dude, he's got it out for you today, huh?
Nah. We know I'm just messing with
Yeah,
Matt.
I don't think Matt's messing with you.
But, so you look at that, obviously, inconsistent performance on offense.
Right.
Main part of it because while Kluber didn't give him anything, they didn't give up 20 runs. You know what I mean? It was 5-5 going into the 9th. And 5 is okay on an average, but the problem is they've only had, I think, 1 game where they've scored like more than 5 runs.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's a shame, dude, because I think up until yesterday they hadn't scored in the first inning. Right.
And Judge hit the home run. I was going to say,
home run.
Missing Tony, you said Judge homer in the first.
Dude,
you did say it on the episode.
It was like the perfect
I said he was going to homer.
Are we going to say Mystic Tony is joined the team?
Mystic Tony, Mystic Barbs. But not much positives here, but obviously I was excited to see Judge go deep twice.
Right.
Yeah,
no,
it's
he's good.
Especially Barnes.
Yeah,
dude.
Good
I mean,
now.
can we at least say we were a little nervous?
Yeah, but I think we were getting it was a little too much because it's early in the year, and it's not like he was striking out every plate appearance.
Right,
so,
very true.
So feel good about him at least. And then also just one other note, and I think you've kind of seen this over the last couple of years. Chad Green, he hadn't allowed any runs this season, but I just feel like over the last couple of years, he's kind of given up homers in big spots, even though generally the numbers are there. I just and he was pitching in the 9th. I mean, his usual spot is either an opener or 6th, 7th inning. So just something to keep an eye out for, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think he's like a career 3.3 ERA or something like that. He's been a little inconsistent, but like you said, he does give up home runs every so often in a big spot, I guess. But I wouldn't be so concerned about it.
Yeah, and you know what it reminds me of? And it just, we take it for granted. Oh, these guys, they're nasty. But a lot of guys are kind of role specific.
Right.
So a couple of years ago, they had Tyler Clippard, who was their 7th inning guy. They had an injury. I want to say probably Betances, because of course he's always injured. So they moved Clippard up to 8th inning, and he was lights out in the 7th. Bombed in the 8th.
Wow.
Because guys get used to a role, it's a routine, and there's just so much more pressure later in the game.
Yeah, that makes sense. So,
give him some time, I think Green's a guy, though, like I said, that is probably never going to be a closer, and is just good in that middle relief setup role.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of why, and I know Chapman had got a decent amount of work recently, so I guess that's why they didn't go with him there. And then on the road, you can have your closer get the save, but probably would have been nice to have Chapman in there.
I know. It's a tough loss, dude. I mean, it wasn't a blowout. Honestly, it could have fell either way. It's like one of those, like, you could have won, but they didn't, I guess. So,
yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
And it just, but just a couple of things here that just are annoying, obviously.
They irk Barnes.
So, we're 5-7. We're 5-7, but the Red Sox have won 7 in a row, which is just insane.
Wow.
But I think that's a flash in the pan. But that's just one thing to add to it. And then being off today, you have these some losses, you want to get back to it. So it's annoying. We have to wait till tomorrow. And I was getting worried because I saw on my weather app, some rain signs for tomorrow, but it's earlier in the day. They should be fine, because the game's in New York tomorrow. Should be okay. So 3 games set against Tampa. So it's crazy. You really need 2 out of 3 here.
Yeah, you do, dude, especially against Tampa, who I feel like even historically, even when Tampa wasn't really that good, Yankees have always struggled against Tampa Bay.
Right.
And obviously, they're not doing too hot right now. So, I mean, like you said, 2 out of 3 is like a must.
Right. And then you look at the pitching matchups tomorrow. As of now, they haven't announced, and there's a lot of rumblings about a bullpen game. And it's just like, please, no bullpen game. Like, it's just, we're not the Rays. We don't do, Chad Green's had some decent outings, but it kills the bullpen. Michael Wacha's starting tomorrow. Why wouldn't you start Debbie Garcia if you don't want to start Herman? It just doesn't make sense. So don't like to see that. Hopefully, they haven't announced it, so hopefully they go with Debbie. Saturday, It's Montgomery Glass now. I like what
This is a good
Montgomery's
matchup,
brought this year, but Glass now has been so
he's been
dominant.
really good.
I'm having bad kind of first thoughts about that matchup.
No, yeah, I can see that. I mean, Glass now has been honestly stepping up, given that the Tampa Bay Rays don't have Snell anymore.
Yeah.
So he's been doing really well. He's huge. He's like 6'7", man. He rips the ball, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome what he does.
So it was either his last start or the start before. He had 14 Ks, I think.
Yeah.
No walks. I mean, he's just nasty. You know, it's a shame because Sunday it's Cole versus Yarborough. It's a shame that it can't be Cole Glass now.
I know, right? You would think.
So I mean, you look at these matchups. They should have the advantage pitching wise in 2 out of the 3, are they going to hit? I mean, at home, no matter who the opponent is, generally they are pretty good hitting at home.
Right.
They're just kind of comfortable with the park. So it's lined up.
It is lined up.
Just got to do it, though.
Hopefully no games get rained out.
Yeah, exactly. So Saturday's supposed to be good. Friday's should be good. So as long as Sunday, isn't a rain out, but it's just, I know it's just they do it like this every year, but it just always seems like there's so many off days in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense at all, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like it. Like have them later in the year when you need some rest.
When you need the rest for the team,
season,
dude. Yeah,
and you could still do it in the same amount of time, just space it differently.
right.
But
especially now, given all the COVID scares, you think they want to jam it up first,
let's get some games
get the games in. So God forbid down the line, if there's any issues, we have some room to work with.
Yeah, yeah. And
what, Mike?
Nothing. No, I totally agree.
So it'll be first game of the series tomorrow, 7:05, and I'm sure by the time we go on the air tomorrow, we'll know who's pitching.
Hopefully.
And hopefully I'll be excited about who's pitching. So
probably not.
See.
Or excited about anything at all, really.
Yeah,
really.
I'm not excited, but I know you're excited. You're excited. You're buzzing.
Dude.
The Mets again.
Oh,
5-1 win over the Phillies.
Step right up and greet the Mets.
Tony's still buzzing. He's right.
Tony's still buzzing.
Oh, my God.
And I want to get to your breakdown, but just to introduce this, I just was impressed. The thing that stood out here, Peterson,
dude.
6 innings,
oh my
3
God.
hits, no walks,
Say it
10
again.
Ks. Is he a Cy Young candidate?
Oh, dude, possibly, man. Dude, the guy has ice in his veins, bro. I mean, to come out his first start was trash. He let up 4 runs in the first inning, and then he comes out yesterday, nothing ever happened, bro.
Right.
He was on top of it. He was dealing, dude. Gives up only 1 run. One mistake, left it middle, and I think Segura took him. Segura hit a home run over him.
Yeah.
But bro, we're looking like a real team out there, man.
Yeah.
5-3 right now, first in the NL East. I know it's early, but it's just nice to say that,
Right.
But oh my God, dude. And then I think Alonso had 2 RBIs. Love to see that. Smith had an RBI, and McCann finally, dude.
3 for 4.
3 for 4.
Gets that first homer.
Gets the first homer in the season. I think he had 2 RBIs as well on the day. We were all hitting. The bullpen was even doing well. Diaz 2 strikeouts in the 9th.
Throwing gas.
I mean, I was never more excited to watch a baseball game.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit of an exaggeration.
And you look at it top to bottom on offense. Everybody performed.
Everyone was hitting.
You had 3 guys with 3+ hits,
Mm-hmm.
and you had the top 3 in the order. 8 for 14. I mean, that plays every game.
Dude, it gives me goosebumps, bro. Goosebumps.
Yeah, so a lot to be happy with the Mets. 3 straight wins. We're supposed to have the series finale today. The weather.
Talk about
April.
annoying. Another game gets postponed for the Mets. You missed a DeGrom start. Everyone hates to see that.
Right. So now the DeGrom start goes from New York to Colorado,
dude. Which again, I mean, the forecast for Colorado has been snow and is gonna be snow.
Yeah.
So you don't know if any games are gonna be getting postponed or anything like that. And it's definitely gonna be a different atmosphere. You got the altitude,
I'm telling you, Diaz is gonna serve one up in that altitude.
Dude.
Come on.
And then again, now we're having off day, they're breaking momentum. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, we'd love to see them come out like they did yesterday against the Phillies. But I guess we'll kind of see, dude.
Yeah, and especially because the way the first couple games looked, I know you feel the same way. I'm impressed how they've really got it together, with these 3 straight wins.
Yeah, man. And against the Phillies, who,
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning of the season, they were doing well. Their bullpen looked nice. Their pitching was good. They had some hitting.
Yeah.
And then you get freaking now Harper getting struck out 3 times. They went 0 for 4, I think. Like,
that's
you'll
huge,
love to see that.
Huge.
Right, Mike?
And Peterson,
That was great.
we talked about this the other day. Peterson was the one the other time who had given up the home run to Harper.
Yeah,
in
he
the
had
first inning.
in the first
so
inning.
to come
dude.
back and strike him out like that.
I know. He had his number.
Yeah, so Peterson on his A game, and we'll see how the Mets fare. Hopefully they can get a full series in this
Yeah,
game.
I hope so.
And then, some
I hope
news
so.
around the league. We just had a no-hitter. Was it the beginning of this week, or it was it was last weekend, right?
It was last Friday. It was a week ago tomorrow.
Joe
Yeah,
Musgrove for the Padres
Right.
throws a no-hitter. Last night, Rodon on the White Sox throws one, and he was so close to a perfect game. A hit batter with 2 strikes in the 9th inning.
Which is so tough.
Loses it, and then they had that play that was reviewed at first with the grounder.
Yeah, with the ground. Yeah, I saw
right
that.
before
dude.
that. So very dramatic. So he gets the no-hitter. Crazy having 2 no-hitters that short together.
I know, and it's funny because Musgrove also almost had the perfect game, but he hit a batter, dude.
Right.
Which is tough to see. I mean, not as tough as this one, but still, dude, that sucks.
And no-hitters are, especially perfect games, are always going to be rare, but no-hitters feels like we have years where we have 7, and then we have 2 years where we have none. So it kind of just goes back and forth. But do you feel the no-hitter specifically has the buzz that it used to?
There's no buzz, dude.
Honestly, do you think it's as crazy as you used to think growing up?
I don't know. I mean, growing up, I don't think so. Especially now. I mean, we see these pitchers who are throwing just ridiculous stuff out there, man. Like their cutters, their fastballs. It's
for 4 innings. Cool.
To
Now,
another
throw a
point to
no-hitter.
make. Yes, like a lot of pitchers do not go that length into a game. So I would say it's a little bit of there's less buzz to it.
What's the no-hitter again? Where just no one knows. What's the one where it's like a complete game? Like
a perfect game is 27 up, 27 down.
Yeah,
no one touches it.
No one touches, no walks.
See, that's impressive.
No hit.
That's what I was gonna say. That's never gonna go away.
Oh no, that is just.
Who's the last person to do that? I'll look it up.
Probably a couple years, I would think. Geez, I really
think you would know, huh?
2012.
Felix Hernandez.
Felix Hernandez, really?
Wow.
Dude, holy shit!
Wow, I didn't realize it
Holy
had been
shit.
9 years since we've had a
And R.I.P.
No, that's
no.
Jose Fernandez.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, all good.
I'm
Felix
glad he's
Hernandez is still
here.
alive.
So
Good.
yeah, and we've seen
Glad he's kicking.
I remember.
too.
I think it was 2003. Carl Everett, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 9th off Mussina to break up the perfect game at Fenway of all places.
Oh my God!
So
dude.
we know these perfect games tough to come by. So it's been an interesting start to the season.
Yeah.
And
And by the way, another fun fact about the Mets. I believe it was if they could just get like a couple runs, they'd actually only have 1 loss this season. Or
Oh yeah.
I forgot what was it that Don McGregor?
They would be like, what was it? No, it was like a couple of days ago. They'd be like, if they had, I forget how many runs, but he was like, they could have been like 7-1 at this point.
Yeah.
If they had scored like 2 more runs or something, it was whatever stat, dude, whatever. It happened already. We don't live in the past here.
But you'll take 5 and 3.
We look into the future. I'll take 5 and 3.
Yeah,
and
I
we're
would
on the
like
up
5
and
and
up,
3.
baby.
A better
Barnes would
record
have
than
loved 5 and 3
better
for the
record than the
Yankees.
Yankees.
That's for sure.
All right, so technically, right now, Tony, is this true? Are the Yankees the better team in New York right now?
No.
Oh.
Are the
I mean, the
Yankees
Mets.
I wasn't sure if that was a trick question.
I was like, yes, the Mets are totally the better team right now.
But long season.
It's a long season. A lot of rants Barnes going to have, which honestly, he held his tongue a little bit today.
I thought he was going to go a little bit.
Yeah.
He's saving it for every Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean,
if they lose to Tampa Bay swept, what are you thinking?
Oh my God, I'm thinking fire Boone.
Fire Boone, hire Barnes.
Yeah, literally.
Oh man, but no, I don't know. I think it's just because it's been a terrible start, but I just think there's no way that they're not going to pick it up.
Right? No,
the
yeah,
guys are
exactly,
too talented. It just might have to replace a start. Hopefully, just if anything, just one starter. Hopefully, that's Debbie sliding in. Hopefully, Herman comes back from the alternate site. So, question marks, but questions, that I think will be answered. And then, when your favorite player of all time goes deep twice, at least that eases the burden.
Something to happy about, you know.
So bunch of afternoon baseball going on right now. We actually have 4 games in progress.
Hot damn.
It does seem like they've added more afternoon games this year.
Does seem like that a lot, actually, which I like. I enjoy that very much.
So just to wrap it up here, 6 innings, Marlins 3-2 over the Braves right now. Padres all over the Pirates 7-1. Mariners and Orioles tied at 2 in the 6th. Red Sox losing 2-0 in the 2nd. And then we have, some games later. And, of course, we said Yankees and Mets off tonight. And then we'll get, our full slate tomorrow, hopefully weather permitting. So looking forward to that. And I think, Yankees always play well at home. Nice to be out of Dunedin. I could use a trip to Dunedin after the last couple of days.
Barnes loves to say Dunedin.
But we'll cover it. Baseball is a great sport, and it's just a little better when your team's playing better.
Right.
So, I think we'll see an improved mood out of me, next week or so. Tony, we'll see with Tony. Is this going to fluctuate? You'd expect. It's the Mets. We've seen them get off to hot starts before and then, become the Mets. So see what happens. But that's going to do it for our baseball segment. Take a quick break, and then we'll get Grasso on for some NBA.
You know what I'm saying? She got away. You know what I'm saying? She can't. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the Blue Jays are going to have to play because Toronto.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I love it up. Get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab a shot on the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes? Simon telling you what to do. Running my commando, hitting the bando, tapping the bando, not like a Rambo. Rocky, Sylvester, so I'm telling you, I even let's get ready to rumble.
And we're back. And Grasso joins us, ready to talk some NBA, bro.
What's up, Barnes? How you doing?
Good. How you doing, man?
Today's been great.
Yeah.
Great day so far.
And we're not going to cover it in depth, but just before we get to our game recaps, how about the Nets bailing out, not playing their guys last night? Wins a win for the Sixers. You'll take it. Helps in the home court.
I mean, it made Embiid look really nice.
Yeah.
And we got Kyrie Irving to do just whatever he wanted out there, which is always a pretty magical thing to see. But I think Durant wanted to watch from the sideline.
Yeah.
Maybe he was scouting.
Yeah.
Maybe he was scouting for the Eastern Conference Finals. But
exactly. So
still a pretty good game regardless. Though the Nets bench played well.
Yeah.
Actually came down to
it was a close game for it being, mismatched with guys being out.
Yeah,
so.
Sixers were up 22 and kind of let the Nets bench back into it.
Yeah.
Hey,
wins a win. And like I said, it'll help for the playoff standings. So a couple pretty close, entertaining games, we had last night. And, we'll start with the Knicks, 116-106 over the Pelicans. And Mike is buzzing. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And we'll go to him first with his recap of the game last night.
I'll start off with your boy Burks coming down in the fourth quarter with 14 points. And then, like I said, Julius Randle putting the young puppy into work, cradling him, teaching him things, coddling him. Yup, Grasso knows. What do you stay there, Grasso? Keep it going. There we go. Yup, teaching him a few things. Hey, this is what you could be. You could even be better. And then I could be your mentor when you come to the Knicks and you play with RJ here. You don't like that?
I love it. I absolutely love it.
I think there's a reality that if the Pelicans don't have success as much as the Knicks and the Knicks keep growing, it's realistic that he goes there. after his contract's up.
I think for him to stay, they might have to fire Stan Van Gundy, honestly, because there's no way Zion likes playing for him.
No, there's no way. He wants to get up and down and let Lonzo throw the ball. But yeah, dude, the Knicks are 4 in a row, first time this season, and I don't know if they're looking back. And honestly, we're going for 5.
Yeah, and that is going to be a great game tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll preview it. Traveling to the Mavs tomorrow. So.
Well, honestly, suck.
Yeah, we wish Gino was here for this ramp.
Yeah,
honestly,
they're not. The Mavs not really looking like a great team. I mean, Luka's carrying the load, doing his best.
Yeah,
outside of that,
Grosso, who do you think's better than that team?
Oh, watching the game last night, I was thinking, the Grizzlies have a much brighter future than the Mavericks do.
Yeah.
I mean, the Mavs have Luka going for them, and outside of that, I mean, Porzingis, but kind of trash.
Porzingis isn't what he was in New York, even.
Yeah, he really is not.
Yeah,
he just kind of stands around 3-point line, and he'll get his points, and maybe he'll block a couple shots, but not really affecting the game like you would want out of your second best player.
Yeah.
He used to be so dominant, dude, on both ends for the Knicks, when they really ran the offense and had him control the defense. I don't know, they got to get back to some of that with him.
Yeah, you knew he was on the court. In Dallas, you don't really know if he even played or not.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
What'd you see, Barnes, though?
I mean, just looking at this, obviously you mentioned Burks, 21 points, 4-7 from 3, a plus 24. That's great. He hasn't had one of those games in a while, so I was impressed by that. And it's funny because I was like, at half it's going to be close. Maybe the Knicks will be up, and they were actually up by 1, but they just really controlled the second half, and I was impressed by that. And then how about their 3-point shooting? 17 to 33. Anytime you're knocking down over 50% of your threes, you should have a good shot. And I know it's the Pelicans being under 500, but anytime you win a road game, road games are tough to win. So
always.
I was impressed, that the Knicks were able to win. But I do think this really came down to the Pelicans bench blowing it.
Yeah.
You want to talk plus minus? Minus 65 for the Pelicans bench. What happened to Jackson Hayes? Minus 27?
Hey, Jackson Hayes, a little growing pains there. Grew a couple inches.
Well, dude, hey. Barnes, when you go up against Nerlens, you get a little nervous.
Nerlens didn't actually play last night.
Oh, well, him just being on the court scares me.
Norvell Pell.
He did play last night.
Norvell Pell got the minutes. Taj Gibson started.
Yeah, and Taj, dude, just
shout out Taj.
But I just don't get why didn't the Pelicans just play all their starters 48 minutes? They probably would have won the game.
They tried to. I'm looking at their bench right now, and outside of Jackson Hayes, I don't even know who any of these guys are.
Yeah,
it's pretty
I do know who they are, but they're not big names. They're mostly 13th, 14th guys on the roster. So the Pelicans are depleted.
Yeah, with Hart and Ball.
Zion and Ingram can only do so much. And, we thought maybe the Pelicans could make a sneak into the playoffs. But if their health is like this, then I don't see that happening. And for the Knicks, you mentioned winning on the road. It's even harder to win on the road against the other conference, against the Western Conference. It makes it even more impressive. The Knicks never get blown out. They're in every game. They fight. Yeah. And when they shoot 51% from 3, the defense is going to be there. So if they shoot it well, they're a really tough team.
Well, and I know, because I talk about him a little too much, but in all seriousness, though, I do think Burks is very important because I think he's their best 3-point shooter. So if he's knocking down shots off the bench, that's huge for them.
Yeah, and he's a guy that can create off the dribble and just get his own shot when the offense is just stale and no one's doing anything. Burks can just, a little crossover 3-point.
Yeah. And I just think, like you said, impressive, win for the Knicks. I just thought, in Zion and Ingram, they both had, good games. I thought it would be tough for the Knicks to keep up offensively, but, and I was impressed too that they're able to win by 10, even with RJ going 2 for 10, 6 points because Randall and Burks played so well.
Yeah. Burks is important being that third scorer.
Yeah. Got to give it to the Knicks, and like I said, we'll talk about them with their game tomorrow.
And we love RJ; he'll bounce back.
Yeah. But a little uncharacteristic the way he's been playing this season to go 2 games under 10 points. But it's a long season; everybody has struggles, of course.
He'll be good.
And then the other game from last night, and we were kind of touching on it briefly before: Mavs 114, Grizzlies 113. How about the last 10 seconds of that game?
Ooh, yeah, you would expect Grayson Allen to knock down some free throws, 90% shooter.
90% missing both. 90.
Oh, great. Grayson choked a little bit, not really used to the NBA spotlight.
Yeah, and he had a great game, too.
He really did. He had 4 threes in the first quarter.
Yeah, 6 overall for the game, 23 points. Valanciunas, it seems like every time we recap a Grizzlies game, 19 and 15. But they didn't win, so I guess that doesn't help too much. But just that sequence, besides the fact that he's a 90% free throw shooter, but for them to be able, they have one timeout left, get the rebound with 2 seconds, and then be able to draw up a play that Luka gets a 3-pointer off. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, Luka put some magic in because that play, it really didn't work. You know, Luka had to step through and threw up a 3-point runner off one foot. And, you know, it kind of is a little bit of luck, but at the same time, I mean,
but it's
Luka magic.
He's talented. I mean, I think at the very least, I mean, it's the best buzzer beater we've seen this season.
Oh, yeah, I would definitely say that.
So nice for the Mavs, to get out of there with a win. Luka, 29 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. And I think he only had 4 turnovers, which I know you've been tracking his turnovers. So
I did. Yeah, just 4. He's been struggling a little bit recently, but I think that comes down to the Mavericks roster. They just don't really have anyone outside of Doncic. Like Josh Richardson's not having a good year. Right. Brunson's good, but he's not great. And Tim Hardaway Jr. is inconsistent.
Yeah, and I think we talked about at the beginning of the year, getting rid of Curry, I think, was a big loss. Not that he would make the complete difference, but I think he'd make a pretty decent size difference.
I mean, the Sixers like what he's doing over there. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's what's hurting them. And, like I said, big win, because they had lost 3 out of 4. They are 7th in the West right now, game behind Portland for 6th. And it seems like they have control of the division. But, like we've talked about before, that winning the division doesn't carry the weight, that it used to.
Yeah, I don't think it does anything anymore.
No. Just that you're automatically in the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
But before it was, because there's 4 divisions, or is it 3?
I think there's just 3.
3. Okay, so you'd have a top 3 seed, and I remember seeing a team 42 wins and they're 30.
Yeah, that's actually I think the year that they got rid of that because it was happening in the East, probably with like the Knicks.
No, it was the Atlantic division.
The Atlantic.
They were struggling hard.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to take away, positives for the Mavs here for sure. Like you said, it's just the Luka show. They got to count on him every game because Porzingis, I mean, 21-6, but just, I don't know. It's just something. He's just not exactly what we were thinking. I don't see any growth, honestly.
Yeah, and everyone thought he'd be the MVP of the year this season, and he's just not even in the conversation. We're not even talking about that. Dallas hasn't been good enough, and frankly, I don't think Luka's been good enough. I mean, he plays with the ball so much that the numbers they're always going to be there, but sometimes he doesn't play as well, and he still has 30 points, 10 assists.
Right.
So the numbers can be a little deceiving. I think Luka's still got a long way to go, and we got to be patient with him. With his expectations. How old is he? What, 20, 21? 21 years old. So
I mean, but it's the trajectory is like one we've almost never seen. Just how advanced he is. But that's what happens when you play in Europe at a young age against high level competition.
Yeah, and me and Mike were talking about this before. If you take Luka off the Dallas Mavericks, they're probably the worst team in the NBA.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And now, like we said, they're 7th in the West.
Yeah,
with Luka, so he is making a huge impact.
Oh yeah. And then, on the other side of this, we mentioned, Valanciunas and Grayson. Ja, 17-5, which, isn't terrible, but it's just not, kind of going above and beyond, I guess you could say. He hasn't had too many of those games this year. And, they're fighting for their playoff position. They're only 1 game over 500. And we've talked about how just getting to the playoffs would be good for especially Ja, just some playoff experience and stuff. So we'll see, what they can do down the stretch. I do think, though, they've competed most of their games.
Oh, yeah. And I think they're in this position right now where they have so many players. Like, they brought 5 guys off the bench who are all rookie contract guys.
Right.
They start a bunch of young players. This team's going places. And I think with Ja, everyone wants him to be this big-time scorer. But he's more of a playmaker. I think Ja has a little more Chris Paul in his game than say, Russell Westbrook. They're different styles. Obviously, Ja's electric and he can jump out the building and everything. Chris Paul's not. But Morant likes to get inside the defense and kind of pick it apart and look for his teammates and stuff. So, I think that's Ja's game.
And also, we've seen with guys that are high draft picks, very talented, sometimes that scoring explosion takes, 3, 4, 5 years before they really settle in.
Yeah. And once they get Jaren Jackson back, I think it'll open up the court a little more. A guy on that team that I really like is Dylan Brooks. I mean, he only shoots about 41% from the field and 34% from three, but he's not afraid of anything. He'll get his shots up. He's one of the most aggressive guys they have on this team. And he does it on the defensive end as well.
I've always liked him, going back to his college days. And I think Mike Krzyzewski's still a little tight at him from a couple years back. That was always funny. So, we'll see how the Grizzlies finish out here. And then, on to tonight, very small slate, only 4 games. And we'll go over 2. First one, we have the Celtics who come in, red hot, winners of 6 of 7.
Here comes a loss for the Lakers.
They're traveling to the Lakers, who are 34-21, which is a very good record when you're missing 2 of the top 5 players in the league. But on the Celtics side of this thing, they've won 4 straight on the road, and being that before that they were 8-16 on the road, that's impressive road wins. And it's the Tatum and Brown show. I mean, they have been on fire. So, they can carry
LA's going to get a taste of it
pretty far. And Kemba, we've seen some signs of life, hoping to see more of that down the stretch. So, and then obviously the Lakers, like I've been saying, have been treading water. I mean, just going back and forth. They've alternated wins and losses the last 9 games. And they're saying, AD back in 7 to 10 days, LeBron a week behind that. So, I mean, it's sooner than later they're going to get those guys back. And I think what you want to see out of the Lakers, of course, win as many as possible. But the other piece is just getting as comfortable as possible, and especially Drummond. He's a big addition. Obviously, we know he hasn't been Mount Drummond, hasn't scored a lot, but you want to see some good games out of him because he's going to be a big part of them, defensively and just at the rim when LeBron and AD are back.
Yeah, and I think when LeBron went out, I think they were tied with the Clippers in the standings, and now they're 4 games back of the Clippers, so they're definitely slipping.
Yeah, but I mean,
losing their grip on LA.
But I mean, I know
tank is slipping.
No, but honestly though, I know you guys get riled to hate on them.
No.
But don't you think though, without those 2 guys, I mean, they probably are doing as best as you would expect.
We kind of thought they played 500 basketball.
Yeah, but I was worried it was going to be like, I don't know, what are they, 13 and 14? I was thinking it was going to be 7 and 20 possibly. Honestly, it just makes that big of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, right now they got a 2.5 game lead over Portland, who's in the 6th seed, 3.5 over Dallas, who's in the 7th seed. Obviously, that 7th seed is what you're trying to avoid, and the way it's looking right now, you don't want that 6th seed either. Because
dude, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of scary. It's a while. I didn't know they're going to be out that much longer, dude. It's a while, Barnes. I'd be a little nervous.
Okay, so 7 days. So what is that? 2 or 3
for
days?
just AD? That's just AD.
I think
I'm talking about the real MVP on your team.
2 or 3 weeks.
Give him 2.
Because AD comes back and you're probably still a 500 team.
Yeah. You saw what he did in New Orleans.
So a top 5 player in the league is not going to make any difference.
He's New Orleans. Look at New Orleans. What did he do?
Okay, they're not better than New Orleans. Come on.
I don't know.
You think he's better than Kawhi?
Yeah, I think he's better than Kawhi. Oh my God. Talk to me when Kawhi can average 20 points a game.
Talk to me when AD can lead a team to a championship.
In a league that's so scoring heavy, he can't even average 20
I'll tell you one
points a game
thing.
He scores 27 a game
right now.
His career, though.
Oh my God. You know what? I'll tell you one thing. You put AD. You put AD on that Toronto team, they're not winning the championship.
Hell no. They're barely making the playoffs.
I'm just saying, you guys are going to look like fools
once the
playoffs start. I'm so wrong.
I hope it's Clippers-Lakers first round.
And one other thing here before we get to our picks, just kind of a reference point, okay? So, like I said, Lakers 34-21. The Bucks, we know Giannis has missed some games, okay, but they haven't been out without anyone else for an extended period of time or him for that long. They're 34-20, so they almost have the same record. Yeah. And if they were in the East, they'd be the 3rd seed. So enough with you two hating on them.
But you know how we feel about the Bucks as well.
So you're saying you just proved to me that Giannis is trash.
No, it's just like you know what I mean? That's a tone thing right there.
Oh my God, dude.
But anyway,
let's get to the picks.
I know what you guys are gonna say, but let's hear the predictions on this game. Go ahead.
Boston by 40.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty bold. I'm gonna do 20. like definitely a 20-point round. And I honestly could see Tatum and Brown doing something crazy, like combining for 89 points.
Wild.
All right.
I think Kemba's going to have a nice night tonight.
Yeah, nice little. He might break some ankles. He might break Drummond's.
I like to look at things, based on trends and stats here. So the Celtics have been, way back, up and down all season. They've won 6 of 7. They've won 4 straight on the road, and we know they're not a good road team because before that they were 8-16. So I think they're just due for a loss, and I think the Lakers are going to catch them here. Some games they don't show up, and you just can't expect them, because they've had a good run, that they're just going to blow everyone out. They haven't been doing that all season. So I think the Lakers show up tonight, and I think it's going to be close, but I think in the end the Lakers are going to win 105-98, and you're going to see finally a 20-20 game from Drummond, and I can't wait to talk about it with the two of you tomorrow. Looking forward to that game. 10 o'clock TNT.
You can stick to your stats and analytics. Yeah. I'm going to stick with the eye test.
Yeah.
And Boston's looking way, way better.
And they have momentum. Where's your momentum? Going downhill.
Your momentum's on the sideline with a sport court and gym shorts on.
The momentum has started since I got that text about the Hornets buzzing the other night.
I can't wait to text tonight. You better screenshot them. I'll put them up.
Oh, man. So the other game tonight, we got the Bucks 34-20 at the Atlanta Hawks 30-25.
Not watching this game.
Giannis is questionable, so not sure if he's going to play. He's missed the last 6 games, but the Bucks have held their own, and overall this season they have the top scoring offense in the league, 119.2 points per game, and a welcome sign for them recently has been Drew Holiday. He missed some time with injury. Last 10 games, he's averaging 22 points per game, 6.6 assists, 5 rebounds, and he's shooting almost 50% from 3. So I think that's huge for them because they've needed him to be the number 2 guy on the team. You could say Middleton, but I think they're kind of equal when it comes to, below Giannis on the pecking order.
Yeah, and Holiday is one of my favorite players in the whole league. But, yeah, him and Middleton, they're 2 guys that they're not flashy. You're not going to hear about them. You're not going to see any big highlights from them. But they're 2 great players. And, Middleton offensively is as good as it gets in the league, really.
Yeah.
He's a 3-level scorer. And Holiday, what he can do in the pick and roll. And when his 3-pointer is on,
it's tough to have Giannis,
But I look
time to move Giannis to the center position permanently.
Three things that play out with those 2 guys is defense, shooting, and fundamentals. And that's why they play, big roles for this team.
Yeah, if only Giannis could shoot, this team would be unstipable.
Yeah,
he'll drop his 30 points in the paint if he plays, of course. And then you look at the other side here. Hawks, we've mentioned it yesterday, 4th in the East, and they're actually 15-5 since interim coach Nate McMillan took over. Trae Young, I know we've been kind of down on him this year, but if you look at the numbers. He is averaging over 25 points per game, over 9 assists, just 3-point shooting. 36%. I guess this day and age that's kind of average. And he seems like a guy who you could expect some years to hit 40% possibly. So you'd expect a little more out of him. But also, Clint Capella has really stepped it up this year after an injury-plagued season last year. Last 10 games, he's been on fire. 18 points a game, 14 rebounds, 2.2 blocks. So he plays a huge role for them.
It's funny it's overshadowed by that dunk. Miles Bridges.
And that was good defense, too, he played. But, Miles Bridges. And Clint Capella is a guy that I always think if Houston didn't trade him, they would probably all have a ring right now.
Yeah. No, that didn't make any
sense. Yeah, it made no sense.
They were so excited to get Robert Covington. Why?
I don't ask me, but
dude, that was weird.
Yeah.
What was D'Antoni thinking?
He wanted to go super small. No one on the court over 6'7".
But as you know with D'Antoni, he gets close, but he just can't finish the job.
Never.
We've seen it every stop.
Time and time. That's why he's trying to piggyback on this Brooklyn Nets team.
I actually completely forgot he was the assistant coach there.
He's one of 10 assistants there.
Yeah.
Amari's the actual assistant head coach.
Nash and Amari.
Yeah,
he's running the pick and roll from the coaching ranks.
Sick.
I think we got to give the Hawks a little credit here. I thought they'd be falling.
Nate McMillan, baby.
But they really just must have not meshed with Lloyd Pierce at all.
Lloyd Pierce was he was a former Sixers assistant, so I was kind of pumped on Lloyd Pierce getting the job. But Nate McMillan has taken this team to a new level. They got a lot of guys that can score on this team. Defense was the big question mark, but they're young guys. DeAndre Hunter. Like you mentioned, Clint Capella, but Cam Reddish, another guy they got some guys that can play defense. Trae Young's really the only weak spot they have on defense because John
Right.
What do you
Collins
mean?
has even
He's
been
first
better.
team.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of John Collins, I mean, I think he's very important to their success. It was 3 games ago. He had 38 points. Then the last 2 games, I mean, one of the games he didn't play that many minutes, but he only scored 20. I just feel like they need him to be a consistent, second or third option for them to really be at their best.
Yeah. Capella's got to be the second scorer. Not Capella. Collins has to be the second
Mm-hmm.
scorer on that team because he could do it from all 3 levels. He's a huge dunker.
Yeah.
We know that. And he could shoot the 3 pretty well. I mean, he's close to 40%, I think. I didn't look it up. But
And it's like, so why were they thinking about trading him? He's young,
that
too.
baffled me, too. I mean, I'm happy they never – I thought it was kind of someone was making it up because they obviously didn't do it. So.
Maybe Lloyd Pierce wanted to trade him.
Yeah, maybe. They were like, you know what, Lloyd, maybe we're going to get rid of you instead.
So, looking at this game and just for picking purposes, let's say Giannis is going to play. What do you guys think here?
I got, even if Giannis doesn't play, I got Milwaukee because Drew Holiday is locking up Trae Young tonight, and Middleton's going to go off.
I'm actually interested to hear this. What's your analysis, Mike?
I got the Hawks.
Oh, my God.
I've got the Hawks, and I'm going to tell you right now, you want a big game from Collins? You got it. Book it.
I mean, you're not even going to give me any.
I'm going to give you 20 and 20.
Okay.
You want Mount Drummond? Yeah, too bad he's washed up with his big toe. Here's Mount Collins.
But yeah, I gotta agree with Grasso here. The Bucks, I think they've been playing well and shown, like you said, even without Giannis, that they have a lot. Because I love what Drew and Chris Middleton bring. So I'm gonna say the Bucks in a close one. On the road, give it 115, 110, and pull away late, and would be another big win for them. I mean, they still have an outside shot at a top 2 seed, but I think they're 3.5, 4 games out. So would need quite the run here to get into that. But hey,
2.5 games behind Brooklyn.
Okay. So I mean, they are
doable, but
it's
probably
just
not.
We hold those teams in higher regard.
Brooklyn's probably not going to lose enough games for Milwaukee to climb above that. Neither will Philly.
Yeah, exactly. So should be an interesting game. Hopefully Giannis plays.
I'm going to give you guys a score since I didn't, but Milwaukee 136. Atlanta 110.
I mean, it's funny because 136 sounds high, but when you average 119, that means you're scoring 136 a lot. Over the course of this
Milwaukee puts up points.
Yeah.
The problem with Milwaukee is they don't put up points like that when the playoffs come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We will see.
So, only 4 games tonight, and we'll recap them tomorrow, but hopefully, they're entertaining. And then
and the Celtics game will be.
Also here, as we've done a couple of times, first we'll start RBC today in Hilton Head. That's underway, and it's a tournament where you see, last year Webb Simpson won. You see guys that don't normally, compete like in the majors and stuff win, and already look at it. And I believe he's almost 50 years old. Stuart Sink, 63 to open up today.
Wow,
8 under par. So that's impressive. And then, behind him, you got Matt Wallace, 6 under, Charles Howell III at 5 under, Billy Horschel at 5 under, and Harold Varner III at 5 under. So just an example already, very early, because, Dustin Johnson's playing in this tournament, some other big names, but just you just have those tournaments, just the way the courses are designed, where you're going to have guys like that lead. And Stuart Sink actually won a tournament earlier in the year. So it's kind of funny. Golf is, basically the only sport where somebody that old can still win. I mean, it's remarkable. I mean, of course, Brady is the outlier, but he's even older than Brady.
Yeah. And golf and these tournaments, that's why you got to love them, random guys that you're not thinking about. Everyone's thinking about Dustin Johnson, Jordan Spieth, and all these guys. And then you just have guys come out of the woodwork and shoot 63s.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the best parts about golf.
And I've talked about it before. I mean, just because, a full field has over 160 guys in some tournaments, has to be the hardest sport to win. 1 out of 165?
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens, and, we'll give you an update tomorrow. And, just always scenic wise, one of my favorite tournaments to watch outside of the majors, just, seeing the water in the background. Hilton Head's beautiful. So I'm sure the guys really enjoy playing it.
I heard you got out on the courses yesterday. How did that go, Mr.
So
Barnes?
I'm actually breaking this to them now. They don't know how I did. So, I mean, we'll say overall, I was satisfied, but a little bit of a choke job at the end. So, first 2 rounds of the season, we had 109, 114. Yesterday, we were 100 on the nose.
Okay.
At Tashua Knolls, and one of my favorite courses.
Where's that for
That's
the
in trouble.
viewers? Okay, there you go. Shout out Tashua.
Great course, and I have to, before I get into what happened to me at the end, I have to give props to my dad. 85.
Papa.
Wow.
85. He was just on fire, making putts left and right. So
on the bum knee, right?
Yeah. Yep. So I was impressed with that. Shout out to you, Dad. You played a great round.
Shout out, Mr. Barnes.
So this is how my round ended. So first of all, we talked about the driver. Didn't even take it out one time. Did 5-iron off the tee. Pretty good success there. Putts were a little questionable. That's why the score wasn't better. But, shot a 50 on the front. So I was thinking, okay, a little better back and get under 100. So 17th hole, green it on a par 3, par it. Okay. So we're sitting at 93. And we go triple bogey on 18, chunk it off the tee, second approach shot over the trees, middle of the fairway, set up perfectly. Take out the A wedge and just shank it to the left.
Oh, my God.
Get on the green at 4 and then 3-putt. Fast green, downhill. So I'll take the improvement, but just would have loved to get under 100, and only a couple days off, and then actually going to be back at it Saturday, Oxford Greens, and I didn't even ask you guys about this before, but I'll just throw it in here. So Oxford Greens, one of the nicest public courses in Connecticut, so tough, slope greens, narrow fairways. Honestly, I know this sounds like I'm kidding. My average score there is probably over 120, not even going to lie. So I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts. My prediction, I'm gunning for a 105, and I'm just curious. I want you and Mike to give it to me straight.
Go ahead, Grosso.
What are you giving me for a score there? And I'm going to stick with the 5-iron.
You're sticking with the 5-iron? I don't know, the way you're playing this year, I think you'll be lucky to break 120, my friend. I don't think you're making any putts.
All right. I mean, tough greens, I have to say. No, but it's literally one of those courses where you putt it, you miss it by a little bit, and then it rolls 5 feet
going,
past.
Yeah, and then you still have another hard putt.
But
I don't think you're going to do well at all, bud.
So much confidence in here.
115.
115, and what's your number?
123.
123.
Wow.
So hopefully the 105 plays, and would like to get under 100. But hey, long golf season. We'll take the improvement as they come. Once the driver gets going, that's when the numbers really get going.
What they say?
I mean, last year we had season low at Sterling Farms. We were able to pull off an 89 last year. So
nice.
It comes. Just takes a little time. So.
I hope you do. I hope you do break 100. This weekend.
Yeah,
Barnes.
I mean, we'll see what happens, but just thought I would share that with the crowd. And other than that, I mean, I think that really does it for me. Anything else you guys wanted to?
Why don't we just Aldridge?
Yeah, my bad on that.
Sorry.
So
we'll add it to the closing remarks.
It just was announced a couple hours ago. LaMarcus Aldridge retires from the NBA. He just had signed with the Nets after his buyout from the Spurs, but played last night. His heart wasn't right during the game, got worse after the game, so they're calling it an irregular heartbeat. He's fine overall, but just doesn't feel comfortable playing basketball, so he retires.
Yeah, and you got to respect that decision. I mean, it's his heart that we're talking about here, the thing that literally keeps you alive.
Right.
LaMarcus Aldridge has more important things in his life than basketball.
Had a great career.
Yeah, and he's had a long career.
Yeah, he's in his mid-30s.
I think he's 37. 36 or 37.
Something about that. A great career for LaMarcus Aldridge, and we pray that he just gets better and stays healthy and can be there for his family. And forget basketball for a second here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think
maybe he could take Paul Pierce's job.
Yeah. But honestly too, I want to say I think it actually worked out okay, because I think he's just getting to that point where if he kept playing another couple of years, you'd don't think of him in the same regard as you did.
Yeah. And talking about LaMarcus Aldridge, when he was in Portland, he was one of my favorite players.
Yeah,
that's when the big man was
he had that sick turnaround.
He had the perfect mid-range game too. That elbow jumper at 6'11", no one could block his shot.
And I mean, I feel like, of course, we've talked about before, Brandon Roy, part of that. And I think as much as we've gone over that Blazers team, I think we need to have a whole show just talking about that mid 2000s Blazers team.
Where the Blazers could be right now.
I know.
If everything went right.
I know.
They took. I mean, going way back, they took bias over Michael Jordan. Right?
No, Bowie.
Sam Bowie.
Sam Bowie
Sam
over
Bowie.
Michael Jordan. Then they took Greg Oden over Kevin Durant.
Yeah, Durant would have played with Brandon Roy.
How
Yeah.
many titles do you think they would have won?
Roy and Durant?
If Roy played a full career with Durant.
Ooh, give him at
Three
least
minimum, yeah.
And then once Melo got there, forget it.
Oh, dude, don't
Imagine
even
if they were
start.
still able to somehow draft Damian Lillard in that.
Oh,
I mean, I know they probably weren't picking 5. If they
Yeah,
had Durant
but
and Roy on
maybe
their team,
but maybe they trade up something.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, that
Yeah.
would just
He was 6th.
who
Dame
5.
5.
He
yeah.
was. I don't know. Oh, okay, I didn't realize he was that high. But
Yeah, 5 or he could have been 6 out of Weber State.
yeah,
Weber.
Weber State. So other than that, I'd just like to thank everyone for joining us as always. Keep commenting, liking, subscribing. We'll see you tomorrow.